I did do a clean lap. Woo!
What's up, guys? Jack back again, and we have part 2, the endurance race from Sunday night. Now, I just wanted to explain what's happening here at the start. There's a little bit of a roll-off delay when the race starts, but I was starting in the incorrect grid position because the game made a mistake. So I was actually just having to pause and drop to the back of the field. So that's what's happening now. So we were supposed to start 15th after finishing 3rd in the sprint race, but we are now going to be starting all the way back in 17th once the whole field passes us, and we got to make our way through the grid. So this is the endurance race, 20 laps on Road America with 1 required pit stop. Now, the starting order for this race was the inverted grid from the previous sprint race. If you had seen that one, I finished P3, but unfortunately the fastest lap I did was dirty, which means it put me in a higher place. It put me in the wrong positioning because it thought I finished in a different spot than the previous race. It's just Forza things. So we have 20 laps. We have a chance at the win. We're in the KTM X2 or GT2, and SGR Chaos Fox made this livery for me right before the race. So if you want to check out some of his liveries, they're fantastic. He did not have a lot of time to make this, and he made it look pretty darn good. So we got a nice Valvoline sponsored KTM. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get into the race as we try and make our way through the field in this inverted grid.
I don't know how I didn't get damaged there. No, Larondi. Holy, this C7's got some straight line speed too.
So right there you can see one of the main reasons that I chose this KTM is it's pretty quick on the straights, but I would say the largest reason I decided to go with this KTM is it's very different, and I wanted to be a little bit different, and I ended up being the only one who chose this car, and it looks like I made the right choice for this track at least. But I wanted to talk about now we're starting to catch up to Nexus. The white Mercedes up in front of Turk in the Ferrari is going to be our main antagonist in this race. He won the sprint race. He has a lot of speed, and he's in a car that also has very good straight line speed. So both of us are attempting to race our way through the field as quickly as we can to try to get to the lead while the other fast cars are stuck in aero wash. The aero wash had a major effect in this race, and the strategy that we tended to use, as we'll get to later in the race. So right now we're trying to catch back up to Turk and get by Nexus as fast as we can while we still have a lot of cars between us and the leader, because we know based on our previous lap times there's only 3 cars in this race that really have the outright pace to just run away, and that's me, Farhan, and Nexus. So we are being very aggressive through the field because we all know what the other one will do if they get the chance to go ahead first. So right now you can see Farhan and Nexus are battling each other, the pink Mercedes and the white Mercedes up there. They're both being super aggressive. I was being a little bit more patient at the start, and making my way through, just making sure I didn't make any silly mistakes. So coming into the carousel here, we now have a very big draft train and a lot of opportunity. When I see cars bunched up like this, I see ample opportunity for opportunity. I know that's kind of confusing, but it's accurate. So right here, we're going to be able to draft by Turk, and we're going to get a big run. We could maybe go to the inside there, make something happen, but we're going to give Farhan a little bit of a bump draft. And there we go. So we're going to make up a little bit of time, get by 2 cars from the little kink on the straightaway. We're going to be able to make up 2 positions as we have a little bit of a battle here. And Lazy, I see him starting to go wide, so I push out anyways. It was a little bit rude, and it looks bad, but I knew he was going to go off anyways. But then Farhan makes a mistake in the same corner we made so many in the first race. And that's going to move us all the way up to P9. And with Turk passing Farhan, that's going to maybe take a little bit of the pressure off of us. And we're going to try and catch all the way back up to Nexus again. So coming into these corners, we're stuck in that aero wash. Nexus is battling the car in front, but currently isn't dealing with that. So we have to try and catch up as quickly as we can, or Nexus will put a very large gap on us very, very quickly. So it's just focusing about corner exits in this car, because it is really, really sketchy. It very drives very well, but it's very understeery coming out of the corners, and it's very finicky with the throttle. If you put too much in, you're gonna spin the tires. I thought about maybe running this thing with traction control, but with the aero wash and so many other cars so close in speed, if you get bumped when you're using that traction control, it can really, really bog you down and ruin your corner exit. So I thought it was better to take the risk and slipping the tires a little bit than to choose the traction control option. So now we're catching all the way back up to the back of Nexus. We have Turk and Farhan behind us. Unfortunately, Farhan lagged out in this race, so it's really going to come down at this point. The way it looks is it's going to come down to who can get through the traffic the fastest between me and Nexus based on the overall lap times we were running in this race. Everyone was pretty competitive, but these 2 cars definitely seemed to have the edge at Road America. So for car choice, we were definitely in the right option, but we get a lot of aero wash there. I turn in too early, get loose, somehow manage to save it. We only lose 1 spot to that McLaren, but unfortunately for that McLaren, he actually has some engine damage, so we're going to be able to make that spot up pretty quickly. But that was a mistake we really didn't need to make, and we really shouldn't be making. So we're going to go ahead, try and catch back up, and then just try and make our way back around the McLaren again on the straightaway, because we know we have that straight line speed advantage. Even if he's in the draft, he's not going to be able to keep up too much. So we get a bad exit from the aero wash behind us. Lazy Arc making a cheeky little move up the inside. It's glad to see that Lazy's racing in this now. You might have seen him on the Friday night streams as well. But that Corvette just does not have the overall top end, and you can see how much we've pulled back on this McLaren. He started in the draft a couple tenths back, but he probably lost 7 tenths. The poor guy is just trying to make it all the way to the first pit stop so the tires won't be worn at the end of the race, and then he's going to try and make his way into the pits. Unfortunately, we cut that corner a little bit too much. That's a mistake I made several times in this race, and it costed us. It costed us that corner. That corner was, we figured out the last corner. We didn't figure out turn 2 today, so we're going to keep going. Not too much foreshadowing, but just a little bit. So we're going to catch back up, and now we have the daylight coming out, and I'm going to leave it with the stream and the battle for a little bit, and I'm going to come back in talking about the strategy we had later in the race and using aero wash to try and benefit each other.
When I did the AI race earlier, the AI had more fuel when the race ended than I normally did and less tire wear. What happened to you, Turk? Last corner, son. Yeah, 1.5 seconds faster already. Let's go. You know what's funny? I'm reading my chat, and the chat right before you went off is Turk is so good at applying pressure. Commenters curse. I'm on YouTube. It's Jack's Racing Project. He's great. You've had enough of your TV time. My viewers made this livery for me. I'm very happy about it. Although it's actually someone I used to play Forza with, SGR Chaos Fox. So when do you hit the button to pit normally and not pit stop glitch? Okay. We're good. Yep, let's not jinx anything. I mean, honestly, they're not going to be that bad by the end of the stint. They're going to be bad, they're just not going to be... my god, I didn't aero wash. Let's go. That'll do it. Hillybilly, that was the move of the race.
All right, guys, so we were able to escape the aero wash from the car behind us, and Nexus had just made a mistake, so now we are right behind Nexus again. And this is where the strategy takes place. So once the leader pits, he's still going to come out quite a good distance ahead of us. But the problem is, you can see what just happened. The second he got behind me, I flew off the side of the track. And if I stay close to him, he's going to lose time as well. So now we're stuck in the same exact position Farhan and I were in on the previous race. So I am slowing down Nexus. Now, we still are catching the leader slightly, not by much, but we are gaining a little bit. But the problem is, we might run out of time. So we were talking about in the race, and I decided to just give him the 0.7 of a second lead and stay out of the aero wash. So now we're both able to run faster together than we would if we were both actually trying to race each other. So we were forced, with the way this works, to use the aero wash and back off of each other to gain time by moving forward. Instead of working together to push each other faster, I slowed down so we could both go faster. But now that he's caught up to Grim, I'm going to push back up to him, and I'm going to let this battle take back over. But I just want to explain why that needed to be the strategy that worked, and that's what we did for most of this race. Going forward towards the end, we just had to try and avoid aero washing each other to lose each other time. So we're up to the top four. Third and fourth now, we have Grim in second, who is very good defensively, and there you can see right up there, the leader. So we have caught back up. We've made our way through 90% of the field. But we still have each other to deal with, and the leader and Grim. Now, Grim's in a Mercedes. He's got the same top speed as we do. It's going to be difficult to get by. I'm going to let this moment just happen.
They made it work. Side by side in the kink, boys. I got a great angle of it. Chat, rate that out of 10. Oops, sorry. I didn't. Have 2 more laps of me being nice. Let's go get him next. Okay. I wouldn't. Alright, go ahead. Oh my god! No, all good. This thing just doesn't turn. So my question to you is, if you're in second, why are there 2 cars in front of us? Oh, is he just keeping up with the leader? Because he looks like he's been there for a while. Alright, let's... Did we touch it all there? Oh, damn, I was about to say that was awesome. On my screen, it was clean. I got you. Don't worry. No, I took away the aero wash. As soon as you said activate, my car just snapped sideways. I know, I just need to get out of Grim's aero wash, but I can't. Oh. I have a chance. Come on, baby, push. All right, let's go. We got away from it. Wait, what? We're racing to the line, by the way. You're racing to the line. That's why I wanted to remind you, just because I knew I had a straight line speed advantage. All right, now we just start slowing down. Just like lift off and coast. Coast it down to 80. And I think we're going green at the end of this race, or lap. Yellow flag is out. I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't want to see that. I think we had a great battle for the win shaping up there. No way. Are you kidding me?
All right, so we have regrouped for the restart. We're gonna warm these tires up as much as possible. In Forza, you really wanna make sure the tires are as hot as they can get, as quick as they can get. Just lock up the brakes, turn a little bit, you'll be good to go. The first couple corners are always tricky when you have cold tires, especially when you come out of the pits or when you're doing a manual yellow flag restart like we are doing. So we are gonna be going green. The marker for the leader on which he can declare the race restarted is after this NTT billboard. Once he's past that, it is green. It is a 2-lap shootout to the finish, and we are go. So we are off. We are trying to stay in the draft of this Mercedes, get away from that BMW as fast as we can. Hillybilly IG gets a good run in the draft and is actually going to be making a move on the BMW and moving himself up to P3. So for some of you who don't know, I'm actually on the same team as Hillybilly IG. I am also on the IG team. So right now, 2-3 for us. We're doing pretty good for ourselves. So we're now going to try and catch up, but unfortunately, I made 2 very costly small mistakes. I turned into turn 1 and 2 slightly too early, and it allowed Hillybilly to get a run on me, and it allowed Nexus to escape the aero wash with the 2-lap shootout remaining. Nexus, even with 3% engine damage, hit his lines really well after the restart. I did not. He pulled himself a gap, but with that engine damage, we still have a chance. We have 4 long straightaways to go in this race, and about half a straightaway on the start-finish line to try and make a move on the wounded Mercedes of Nexus. So we got to put our heads down, just run the clean lines. If we really smooth it out, I think we can do it, but I'm pushing really hard. I'm very frustrated by the mistakes I made in the first 2 corners on the restart, giving away just that much time. It reminded me of the previous sprint race where I just messed up the last corner a bunch and gave away a lot of time there. But we're going to improve on that. So one thing that I've noticed since I've started watching back and when I'm editing these is I've actually gotten a lot better at the game because I'm realizing and seeing a lot of my mistakes, and I'm able to actually improve on them by visually seeing what I could have done better. And I'm also hearing my commentary in the moment. I can also hear, oh, sometimes I'm kind of wrong about that one. So let's go ahead. We got in the draft again of Hillybilly, and we're going to try and make our way down this front stretch and catch up as much ground as we can. But again, this last corner is always really tricky for us, and Hillybilly gets a pretty good run, and we're going to get in this draft. So we're not out of this yet. We have a pretty good chance. We got the draft. All we got to do is do a good turn 1 and 2, and we are not out of this. We could probably catch up to Hillybilly and give him a bump draft down the back straightaway and get him inside that aero wash of Nexus. But we get a good turn 1, not that good of an exit. We took it a little bit safer. Now we just got to make sure we don't turn in early again to turn 2. And we clip the grass a little bit and we lose a lot of time on that exit. We get out of the aero wash and the draft of the car in front, and it's just not looking good. We're just making too many mistakes today. Towards the end of this race, we had a great drive all the way through the field, a lot of good battles, but unfortunately a restart cost us a little bit of time. But we still have a little bit of chance to make this go. Hopefully we can see a slight mistake or something. Hillybilly has a 1 second penalty, a 1.2 second penalty. So if we can finish within that second, we're going to be able to still at least take home second place. So we got to make sure we get it right. But Hillybilly putting on an absolute charge at the end of this race. He is making up heaps and bounds of ground on Nexus, who does have that engine damage. If he can get into that aero wash in the kink, he's gonna have a chance by the time they get to that front straightaway. So he is catching up. He is now within 0.7 of a second of the leader. We have fallen back a little bit. The lines we ran on the last couple laps were just not good enough to really keep up with the leaders. Unfortunate as it was, but we were able to push ourselves and make sure we finished ahead of Turk, although we do push a little bit wide in this left-hander right here and give ourselves a small little penalty. It wouldn't have mattered as Hillybilly ended up pulling far enough away, but we are going to go ahead, get back on the start-finish line. Hillybilly's in that draft. Even if he did get by, the penalty would have put him back, but it would have been a good moral victory as he caught up and finished just 0.3 seconds behind the leader.
Barely.
We finished a
Hillybilly, one
little
more
bit
lap
further
at him.
back, and it could have been a better race for us. We really tried,
gonna be
but
honest, this
unfortunately,
thing was-
it just wasn't meant to be. With that last restart, we made the mistakes, but hopefully for the next one, we're going to be there and we're going to win. Watch me on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you guys like the video, please subscribe and like for more.